Well, good evening, everybody. Glad to see you again. Got a cooler day today, so kind of a break, kind of a hint of things to come. So today I have a plan to. I want to do review. We've done a lot of new things, new practices, new postures and movements, new teachings, really consecutively for the last probably 8 times or so that we've met. And it feels like it's kind of building up. And I'd like to select some of those and revisit them and put them together in a coherent fashion. So I'm just going to remind you of some of the things that we've done. And I'm very open to your suggestions, your requests, what you'd like to revisit. But it's not necessary that you do that because I'll revisit some of them. But if you'd like to, then when I'm done, then unmute yourself and let me know. Yeah, we've done a lot of different things. We did the 5 elements Qigong practice. If you remember, that was creating the fire and the cauldron in the lower dantian, and then sending the steam up through the channel and into the body. We did the column practices with the column, including the POA practice that we did last time, of uniting yin and yang in the heart and then projecting that out. We've done microcosmic orbit, the Qigong, moving qi within the body. We've done that a couple times. We've practiced opposites. So visualizing going up when we're going down, visualizing expanding when we're exhaling and shrinking when we're inhaling. So combining all these teachings and practices with their opposite. We did that one time. Once we focused on rainbow clouds or pastel clouds. We did a number of practices around clouds, and then sort of dissipating the form, expanding the form into formlessness. We did the cicada Qigong, where we stepped out. We did that a couple of times. We did the sitting heart meditation a couple months ago. That's just some. We've done opening the 7 gates. And we've done the morning Qigong. We've done a lot of different practices. So if there's any of those or any I didn't mention that you would like to revisit, go ahead. I'm going to come up where I can see a little better. Why don't you unmute yourself and say what it is you have to say. No?
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, I'd like to revisit opening the 7 gates.
Opening the 7 gates. Okay.
That's Rachel.
We'll do that. Okay. Anybody else? Going once? Going twice? Okay, fine. We'll be sure to do opening the 7 gates. So the in-breath is said to lift us up, and the out-breath to drop us down. And so if you like, in this standing meditation, we can visualize, set the intention with the in-breath to rise up the center, become very alert, and with the out-breath to drop down and relax. Or you can do the opposite. So with the in-breath, we drop down. With the out-breath, we raise up. With the in-breath, we relax. With the out-breath, we're alert. So that's an option for most of these practices. And remember, you can use the eyes as well as the breath. So you can drop the energy down when the eyes go up, and move the awareness up if you look down. It's optional. Okay, let's go ahead and bow to the directions, starting with the north. The north. The east. South. And the west. Above. Okay, let's start at the top and just open up the neck. And traditionally with the neck, they do the crane and the turtle as well as this circling thing. So the crane is you're going to jut the chin out and sort of make this circle with the chin. And then the turtle is the opposite, where you're kind of tucking back in your shell. So I mention these just because they're very traditional. And then rolling the shoulders. And this, notice that the arms are just weights. They're just sort of dead weights. We're just moving the shoulders and using the arms as weights. Okay, let's drop down into the flexing the hips. So we're rocking the pelvic girdle. We're flattening the lower back and arching the lower back. Okay, and then circling the hips. And like I've said, these may be a little, feel a little strange at first, but you'll get used to them. Okay, and then you're all very practiced, so however you want to do the weight shifting. This is just, Tricia Yu teaches this just as the basic, the most basic, where we drop down, sink down onto the left, and then just lift up the right heel. That's sort of the most basic. And then go back to center, and then bend the knee a little, sink down on the right, lift up the left heel. So this is an exercise. And then the Tai Chi movements, you know, of course, are based, many of them are based on being one-legged. So however you want to do this, the main thing is keeping upright and comfortable on that one leg. Now, if you want to visualize this, you would visualize the central axis. And then as you shift the weight, the axis moves directly over the foot. So when you're double weighted, the axis is right between the feet. And as you shift, that axis just shifts with the weight. So if you do martial arts, or you know, particularly Tai Chi, all kicks are, of course, on one leg. So in Tai Chi, there's a kick like this. There's a kick like this. So it doesn't matter too much unless you're trying to be a martial artist, but the main thing is being able to balance on that one side. Okay, so backwash is a Qigong, although it does involve movement, but this is where now we're really placing our attention on a particular place. So we're starting with our attention at the crown of the head. And then as the head comes down, the attention is moving down, and it's moving down the spine. And we're looking at the spine, lighting it up, and opening up each gate, each vertebral space. So we're really stretching the spine, opening the spine. As you go down, check your weight. Keep your weight even on your feet. Let your head go, let everything go. and just hang. Okay, and now put the attention on your coccyx, on the tip of your tailbone. And then as you come up, use your eyes, and you're looking at the inside of the spine as you go up. And then the vertebrae are now closing again, all the way up. And then when you get to the neck, then the hands start. You're still lifting the hand. The hands start. Now the hands are pointing to the spine. So they're moving, our eyes are moving, we're moving the attention all the way up the spine again, out the crown of the head, pointing to the universe. This is parting the clouds here for a moment. And then touching the manifest realm and down. Pointing down to the earth, the chi of the earth. So in breath. Breathe naturally. Extend. And then relax. Repeat. Okay. And then we just touch standing meditation for a moment, either standing mountain or standing one. And then let's repeat. We'll do 2 more sets. If you like words, you can say open, 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 open the back, relax, relax, relax. Okay, now coming back up, tip of the spine, say up, 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 closing up, strong, pointing to the body. This is the Qigong part. Okay, now extend the senses way up, all around. Good. Okay, eyes are looking down, following the hands again, in breath. Eyes are following the hands, looking inward at the spine. Smile a little bit. Okay, and last backwash, I won't say anything. Okay, well, let's go into Trembling Mountain. So the 7 gates include Trembling Mountain, and then filtering, and then opening the 7 gates. And I like to finish it with Flying Crane. Okay, so while we're bouncing here, I just want to reiterate, whenever I share this, I reiterate this. We're opening these centers in the body vertically. We're opening to the universal life force energy, the energy of life itself, or consciousness. We're not making ourselves vulnerable to the slings and arrows of the world. That's not what opening the gates means. It means opening internally to this flow of energy, of life force energy that's all around us and moving through us and through every life form. Now, originally in the Taoist tradition, this was taught with the lower Dantian, the middle Dantian, the upper Dantian, and then there's the perineal also Dantian, and the crown Dantian. So so there are 5. And that's typical. There's also energy centers in the hands and in the feet, and in other places too. If you study acupuncture, you know about this, which I don't. So it may have originally been opening the 5 gates. I do the 7 gates. I don't think it matters much because these gates are regions. They're not specific points. And in the West, the 7 chakras are so well known by so many people that it's just natural. So I'm mixing this a little bit. The Vedic tradition, the Hindu or yogic tradition with the Taoist tradition. And it just means we're doing 2 more. But if you train with someone who is a very traditional teacher, it would probably be 5. So just so you know. So the visualization, as always, is an important part of this. And how big you make the column is up to you. But you can make the column as big or bigger than the body. So you can be standing inside the column. The column is bigger than the body. Or it can be internal. Whatever works for you. And when we open the gates, we're opening them from the front. But because that's just the way it's taught. But it's actually opening up and down and front and back within this system, the body or the column. Okay. So the reason for this trembling mountain is to relax all the muscles and all the tendons, to empty the mind, and to give the body an internal massage. The organs are massaging each other. and to just release any tension. So this part of it is shaking everything up. And the next part of it, the filtering, excuse me, is organizing it. So we're just letting it all go loose here. And feel free to play with different ways of bouncing. And just do what feels good. Okay, let's just go a little bit more. And this was taught to me as you near the end of this part, you intensify the bouncing. So then really turn it on. Okay, and then let's stop together on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And I think the natural position here is a soft standing mountain. We're not trying to enclose the chi, but we're not stiff. So it's just sort of just a natural stance. Okay, so we're going to go up. So we start by going down. So dip the knees. So in breath. You know, when the hands get to the top, we're going to make this filter, okay, this screen, really, with the hands. The hands can be touching or not. We're going to make this screen that's got kind of big holes, and we're going to bring down the light of the sun, the moon, the stars. It's really the light of consciousness. We're going to bring that down with the hands in the form of a net or a screen inside the body that's screening through it all, and sort of, it reminds me of combing a dog's hair or something, currying a horse, where you're bringing this down through and getting them all to go in the same direction. Okay, and then down to the earth, and then repeat, in breath. Okay, this time, just imagine that the screen is a little finer. We're bringing down the sun, the moon, the stars through the top of the head, and through this column. And it's this bright light that's screening down through the body. You can feel it. And it's organizing the energy in the body. So all the way down the legs, all the way down the arms, the hands, down to the feet. Okay, and then this one again. Look up. Okay, the column is open, the head is open. body's open. The screen is coming down through the body. Okay, you can do 3 or 4. Let's do one more. It's lighting up the body. Might be like static electricity a little bit going down, or however it seems to you. And all the way out the feet. Okay. And then in this position, so just get a sense of the vertical column and the body, and just kind of a sense of these points. The perineum, the abdomen, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the forehead or the third eye, or the brain, and then the crown. Okay. So let's begin with the lowest one. So turn the hands open. And we'll do an in-breath. And then when you bend at the waist, there'll be an out-breath. So then backs of the hands together. Really get a sense of these laser beams coming from the heart, from the body, through the arms, out the fingers, into that gate. So an opening that lowest gate, opening it particularly downward, also up. Okay, and now we'll repeat. So we'll do the abdomen. Really see the beams of light coming in. Open that area. Okay, so both are open. 2 are open now. Okay, and going in, bending again. Okay, this will be the solar plexus. As you straighten up, open. There may be sound associated with this, color, sensation. Okay, and the next one, the heart. And as you straighten up, the hands part, opening the rib cage, opening the heart. Okay, 4 of them are open now. Pointing to the throat. So opening the airway. Connecting the torso and the head, open. Okay, and again. So we'll point to the area between the eyebrows. Open up. You're opening the skull. 6 of them are all open. And then the last one, we'll point to the crown of the head as you straighten up. And then we're opening now. This opens the whole thing all the way down. Just really the body just sort of disappears. It's just this column of light. So everything is open. Okay, now, this is similar to the screen, but it's not the screen. Now we're reaching up and extend the sensory awareness way, way, way up. And we're actually grabbing, we're bringing down or inviting down the light of the universe. Some teach this as kind of like a honey-like substance, but whatever works. And we're filling each one of these open gates with this cosmic chi. You can repeat it, but once is enough. And then just standing for just a moment, relax and get a sense of this openness, dissolving into this light, and this light is filling the body and radiating out. Okay, very good. Now, since we're in body, since we're here, then things that was in the past, right? We did that. It was great. So now we're going to repeat. Okay, so in this moment, we're going to open. So let's begin with, we'll just count. So first, number 1. Now all the others may open when you do this. Just be aware of whatever happens. That's 1. Okay, and now, number 2. Does this feel easier than the first time? And now number 3. Number 4. The body's softer. Five. It's like wave hands through clouds. The column may be getting bigger or more diffuse. Things are not rigid in any way. Things are soft and things are open and spacious. Okay, so in breath, bringing down. That may already be there. They may already be filled, but they get brighter, more diffuse. Okay, so now we'll do the last set of 7 and then bringing down again. And then when you're finished, we'll go into flying crane. So go ahead and do this last one. Do it at your own pace. Doesn't matter what I'm doing. Do it. You can do it more quickly or slower, whatever you want. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, let's reduce the movements. Okay, you can remain standing if you want to, or you can sit for the last part. So you can, if you like, you can remember, revisualize the opening the gates practice using your breath and your eyes. Or you can just enjoy the fruits of the practice we just did. And this central column or axis, the column can become very, very thin and fine and intense, or it can be bigger. It can be increasingly diffused, that is, becomes more cloud-like. It can be made of rainbow light or pastel light. It can just be a cloud. So in the awakened mind, there are no directions, and there's no time. So it can just disappear entirely. There's no separate mind to conceive of it. And in just a second, you can come back in, you can use the eyes and reestablish it, or you can release it. And so in this stage, the qi is not flowing up or down. Because there's no directions and there's no time. So it's just this sort of cloud-like steady state. So we can move by stages from Earth up to the universe, or from gross form into formlessness. And that's fine, and that's good. And the completion is no practice. Just presence. Let's take a few more breaths. So when there's a problem, you can just touch into this. And then we're not just absorbed into this problem. Then the problem exists in spaciousness. And we can bring this vast attention to it. or not? Well, that's the use of this. It's this expanded state. This is an expanded state of consciousness, but it's utterly normal. And we can just rest in this, particularly when things get rough. Let's take a couple more breaths. And just gently return. Okay, so on the count of 3, let's clap our hands once. 1, 2, 3. All right. Okay, so good to see you all. Questions or comments about the 7 gates or any of the rest, or requests for future? I think it'd be good to kind of go over and revisit a lot of these things, because we've really covered a lot of territory in the last couple of months.
So, Stephen, I want to say that that was apparent to me, the territory we've been covering while doing this, which the last time we did it in a class was quite a long while ago. And with the work, the practice we've been doing with verticality, the vertical thing and our eyes, and this was like the deepest, richest version of this I've done. And I think, it was kind of adding in those other things that we've also been practicing. So thank you to whoever suggested 7 gates, because it was, the form is familiar. So, right. So I did not have to kind of like, okay, but just all what we've been doing really kind of found its way into it in a good way. So,
yeah, that's great. Yeah, and that's what I'm feeling too. Like it's time to go back and reintegrate a lot of these things that we've touched into. So yeah. So the interesting thing with all this spiritual practice is that there's these step-by-step teachings. You do this, you do this, you do this, you do this. You do all these things, and you do them all right. You try to do them all right. And ultimately, what the practice is they all dissolve, no matter what they are. And then you're in the I don't know what you're in, but they just dissolve. So but they're very useful, aren't they? I think, yeah, and they're really, really old. This was taught to me first by a woman in the swimming dragon school of Qigong, who is a direct descendant of all these masters, you know, can trace her lineage way, 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 way back. And so this stuff has been taught a long time. Yeah. Okay, anybody else? Okay, Todd, I'm sorry, but I have a question for you. So we were walking the dogs just a little while ago, and on the ground in the grass was a little tiny bird. I don't know what it was. It might have been a robin, but it was all gray, and it was, you know, kind of distressed. What do you do when you find a bird that really can't fly very well and is not in the nest? I mean, you just leave it there, or what? We didn't know what to do.
You can either take it and commit yourself to 10 days of feeding it every 10 minutes, morning and much of the night, or you can leave it there and hope that a parent finds it, or the things that eat little fallen baby birds got to eat too, is another way to look at it.
Harsh.
It's
Okay.
not harsh if you're a fox or something
Right.
like that. It's sweet.
Right, right. Okay, so you have to feed them constantly if you adopt one?
Well, not all night, but they eat an incredible amount. Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
It's
we left it there, but we were conflicted. Okay.
it's hard to look upon the suffering.
Well, I think once we left, it wasn't suffering so much. And there was a call from the tree nearby that sounded like it. So I don't know if it had a sibling or a parent or something. I don't know. Okay, thank you. Okay, anybody else? No? Okay. I just assume you're all in. So you've all been transported so much that you just can't find words. And so it's not that you're shy Midwesterners. Okay.
I'll just add that towards the end there, I was in this place where this kind of recurring habitual thought that I've been dealing with all day couldn't even get in.
Yeah.
I would kind of look for it and it would kind of like boing, kind of like bounce off the cloud. And it was just the present was overpowering this habitual thought, which I thought was pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Good. Okay. Well, good to see you all. Have a good week. And I'll be back. And just as a reminder, these things I do faithfully put them up on YouTube. If you need to review them, or if anyone else wants to see them. Okay?